Are you struggling to see noticeable results when it comes to your ab training? Well, stay tuned my friend, because in today's video you may actually notice that you're making a few of these mistakes highlighted. So stay tuned and let's just dive right into it. Crew members, welcome back to the channel, friends. How you doing today? If you are not currently on board the Game Strength Express though, my friend, you need to subscribe to the channel now and turn on post notifications, because if you're new to bodyweight training calisthenics, this is your home for bodyweight strength training. So hit that button and turn on that bell. Before I get into the video, I just want to say, please do not be disheartened if you acknowledge that you're making 1, 2, 3, even all 5 of the mistakes I'm covering in this video, because in the past I made all of these mistakes, hence why I know how to fix them, and I'm going to go through these common errors in this video right now. So the first mistake when it comes to abdominal training is resting in an anterior pelvic tilt. So this is simply when the athlete or the individual will arch their lower back to compromise for a lack of strength in the anterior core. And so although it makes the exercise way easier, it also makes it way less effective, making the potential results you can gain from the exercise far lower. And so before I go into the cue to fix this, it's worth actually scaling back on the intensity so you can actually apply the correct technique to then engage your core and your anterior abdominal muscles in the right way. So with that said, if your problem is that you're always in an anterior pelvic tilt, you need to learn how to posteriorly tilt the pelvis to maintain a posterior pelvic tilt. And so we do this by tilting the pelvis backwards and pulling the lumbar spine flat. And as mentioned in my hollow body tutorial, this will activate and engage your anterior core muscles in the most effective way so that they can then regrow stronger and stronger in the way in which you desire. And by doing this cue and then performing any knee raises or leg raises, you should then feel a significant difference and feel it way more in your anterior core, which is good because it indicates that you're actually performing the exercise correctly. So with that said, keep it up, my friend. And the second mistake is simply a lack of back tension. So for example, when it comes to core work on the floor, what the individual may do is that they're simply resting their body on the ground so that, again, there's no tension whatsoever to actually make the exercise somewhat difficult. And then when it comes to bar work, such as doing your ab work on a dip bar or on a pull-up bar, a lack of back tension and scapular engagement will then lead to the scapula elevating, which just generally far more uncomfortable than what it actually needs to be. So when you're performing core exercises on the floor, you want to raise the sternum, raise your upper body up, bring your shoulders further back overhead so that you're forming more of a hollow and a disc shape. And on the bars, when you're hanging from a bar, you want to retract and depress the scapula, and on dip bars, you want to protract and depress the scapula. This way you will no longer be doing any, half-ass reps, and so although this is the harder route, you will also be rewarded to a much larger extent. Now the third mistake, which is one I made a lot in the past, is shifting your weight backwards by using excessive momentum. Again, this is typically due to a combination of mistake number 1 and or mistake number 2. And so if you're making this mistake by using more the hips rather than the abs, it's worth just, being honest with yourself and actually scaling back on the intensity of the exercise, fixing those errors in which I've already highlighted in this video in order to activate and engage your core properly and optimally. And although of course we have to make the exercise challenging enough to actually force strength and muscular adaptations, you also have to ensure that you own the exercise and that the exercise doesn't own you. Quattro. Bending the elbows. Now this is something I typically see when people fatigue, because of course our bodies just want to stay the same. And so when fatigue kicks in, our body, if we allow it to, will find ways to compromise our form so that we don't have to adapt and experience physical changes. Because again, our body just wants to stay the same. So one error which will happen is letting the elbows bend, because for example, if we're performing hanging leg raises and we bend the elbows, the tension is taken off the core and more the tension is put on the lats and the back and build a grip in the forearms as well, which isn't actually the point of the exercise, is it? But especially for the bodyweight athlete, straight arm strength is very important, and if you let your elbows bend when you don't actually intend them to blend in these types of exercises, it's going to elicit very bad habits and bad motor patterns when performing other bodyweight compound exercises. So again, remember to remain honest with your training, because your central nervous system is going to adapt to whatever you place upon it. Bad habits will only set you further away from your goals, whereas good habits will set you closer to your goals. make sure you're doing this one. Now the last mistake, number 5, is actually focusing way too much on the abs, because you know, in the fitness industry and the calisthenics world, we are told that the core is at the core of it all. However, this is taken to the extreme in the sense that, you know, if someone's struggling with pull-ups or push-ups, it's boom, the core is the problem. So we need to perform 10 to 20 minute endurance-based ab workouts to solve the problem. And so although yes, the core may actually be an issue, in the upper body, there's most likely a weakness somewhere else in the kinetic chain, such as the scapula. So you may actually be better off focusing a bit more on the scapula by performing exercises to strengthen the scapula. And for example, if your leg training plateaus, again, it may not be the core. If you're doing one leg squats, you actually need full dorsiflexion at the ankles, meaning you actually need to devote time to strengthening that area rather than doing additional core work that isn't actually necessary. And furthermore, the majority of your core strength, practically all of your core strength, is going to come from your big full body compound exercises in a properly structured strength program, and the visibility of your abs is mainly going to come down to nutrition anyway. My point is that ab training should only be a supplement to a properly well-programmed strength routine rather than the whole focus. I mean, seriously, you'll be surprised at how much your strength and visibility of your abs improve when you actually focus less on it. And although core strength is important, it's only one tip of the whole iceberg, my friend. Right, I'm gonna stop now because I'm just rambling. But with that said, if you like this video, if you enjoy my content, if you enjoyed watching every single minute and every single second of this video, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below that this video came in good hands to you. And with that said, if you're actually looking for an ab and a core workout, especially when it comes to bodyweight training and calisthenics, then make sure to check out the ab workout routine I have on this YouTube channel, which will play in the end screen in the coming seconds. But that's enough for me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, my friend. And as a member, a crew member of the Gain Train Express, keep moving forward.